Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everybody. Okay, today we are going to study about subject-verb agreement, and this is a very common thing that usually we will meet in the speaking or in the writing in English. That it is a very basically to study about subject-verb agreement if you want to getting better in English. So subject-verb agreement, it is talk about the subject. It should be matched with the verb what we will use in English. Okay, we are going to this one. Okay, when we talk about subject-verb agreement, we will know for the example as like this one. My friend lives in London. So when you know that is my friend here, so that the subject was singular, and then so it should be followed by the verb singular too. So the subject and the verb, it should be a match, singular and singular. Okay, for the second example is my friends live in the London. So when you know that my friends here show that the subject is plural, so the verb it should be plural too. So the subject and verb it must be matched. We talk about subject verb agreement. Okay, for the next, you have to note giving notes about this one. So you have to remember, if there is subject singular, it's always followed by verb singular. But if there is subject plural, it also should be followed by verb plural. Alright. Okay, for the next is verb. When you find verb is giving additional s or es, it usually used for the third person singular in the simple present. Yeah, for the example, live. Okay, there is s here, show that the verb used by the third person singular. And the next, if there is a noun followed by s or es, it shows that they are plural. So for the example, it's friends. When you know that there is friends here, there is s, it means the friend is more than one. Okay, next, this is the subject-verb agreement rules that you have to know. For the first is subject and verb must agree in number. So if there is he, using goes. If there is they, using visit. Okay, and the second rule is the word and phrase with as well as together with along with are not part of the subject, and the verb agrees with the subject. So for the example is politicians along with the newsman is expected shortly. So you only be focused on politician and is. So they have to be a match. Okay, for the third is if there is two subjects joined in one using unusually, there will be a plural. So for the example is Mary and John. They will use are. So Mary and John is plural. So they have to use verb are. But there is exception about this one. When you know about bacon and eggs, yeah, they will be singular, so they will use is. So bacon and eggs is my favorite taste. Okay, for the fourth is with a collective nouns, the verb might be singular or plural. It's depending on meaning. So for the example is the audience was clearly enchanted by her performance, such as this one. Okay, for the next is a prepositional phrase that comes between subject and verb does not affect the verb. Okay, for the example, this one, you know that book on political parties is interesting. So on political parties is a prepositional phrase. So when you know about this one, just focus on the subject and a verb. So that book and is they have, so in that book some ideas in that book are interesting. So in that book show that it is prepositional phrase. So the ideas and are should be a match. So ideas using plural, so the verb using plural too. Okay, for the sixth rules is a gerund used as the subject of the sentence take a singular verb. For the example is growing. Gerunds such as usually using verb ing. So growing flowers is her hobby. So growing, it shows that it's Sharon. So growing flower is her hobby. So growing should be a match with the verb. So Sharon should be a match with the verb singular. So growing using is. Okay. Thank you. For the next is subject verb agreement using expression of quantity. So such as this one, when you know sum of plus singular noun, it should be using singular verb. And if you know sum of plus plural noun, it should be used plural verb. Sum of plus countable plural, it should be plural verb. And sum of plus uncountable singular, it should be singular verb. Okay, this one. For the example, some of the students in the coffee shop have voted already. Some of the grain was ruined by the flood. So you will see here, student, it's so there are many students because student can be count. So you have to be plural here. Okay, but for the second example, some of the grain. The grain is cannot be count, so we have to use a singular. So we will use was. And this is the table of subject-verb agreement that usually we will face in every occasion. And I think that you have known this one. It may be in the previous school, yeah, in the senior high school. You have found this one. Usually I, it will be followed by am, and she, he, it, is, and then you, are. And this one, I, see it using was, and there, we, you using were, and then to, does, and to. And for the verb, usually I didn't use as, and for the it, they will use SEL. Here, meals, okay, and have, has, and have. Okay, I think you have got it about this one. Okay, for the next is, this is exception of subject-verb agreement. So, if you found the word such as this one, anyone, everyone, someone, no one, anybody, everybody, somebody, nobody, anything, everything, something, nothing, no, once, each, either, neither, all of those would, it should be followed by singular verb. So for the example, that is, each of the student is responsible for doing work in the library. So, don't you know, there is the student, but you have to be focused on each. So if there is each, it should be followed by is. So because it shows the singular, each using is. Okay. For the second is, neither of the tables is laid. So we didn't focus on tables, but neither. So neither will be followed by singular verb. So using is. Okay. Thank you. For the next is subject verb agreement using there plus be. Okay, if you know about this one, if there is there be, is, it depends on the subject. This one, a book, so it depends on the book. When it's only there is one book, it means singular. But if there is some books, it means plural, so we use are. Okay. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. I think that's all about my material about subject verb agreement. If there are any questions, you can ask in the WhatsApp group or in the discussion forum. Thank you. Finally, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.